Welcome in. How are we doing? I know y'all are not expecting to only see my ugly mug, but give some time. As Dailey Joy will be joining us here in a little bit. We're going to do some housekeeping real quick before Miss Dailey Joy comes and joins us. We're going to talk about the Southeastern game a little bit, talk about the press conference today with Jay Johnson, and do the pick to click giveaway from Tuesday. Because I promised y'all I would get it done, so I'm going to get it done. Southeastern, the LSU comes through and they get the W. They get off the snide of the three-game loser streak. The big performers of Tuesday. I want to give a big shout-out to Zach Cowan. He gets the win. 4 innings pitched with 7 strikeouts, only 1 walk. The changeup. By the way, my favorite pitch in baseball is a changeup. And when his changeup is working, it's a beautiful thing. Jack Ruckert. Maybe he's not that bad. 3 for 3 with a double. And 2 RBIs and a walk. And Derek Curiel looking strong in the batter's box Tuesday. Hit an absolute bomb over center field. That's how y'all got the pick to click win. He was 3 for 4 with a walk and a home run. Of course, he had RBI with the home run. All in all, good game. Good to see them kind of pour it on late in that game and submit the win. Southeastern, as we all know, is not a bad team. They had some big wins over some big ranked teams this year. So it's good to see LSU be able to get off snide and beat a good team. Now, Jay Johnson today, heads up, probably not going to have a baseball game tomorrow night from everything he's saying. John E. just recently posted that it's leaning towards LSU playing a doubleheader on Saturday. So if you like baseball, you're going to be able to watch a lot of baseball Saturday. Word on Casey Evans is he threw a little bit today, I believe. Or was that grand final? Anyways, Jay has made it clear that he doesn't believe that Cason's going to probably pitch this weekend. He's moved the rotation to William Schmidt on Friday, Marcos Paz on Saturday, and a TBD on Sunday. Or William Schmidt game 1, Marcos Paz game 2, TBA game 3. I think it's best if we just kind of hold off on Kaysen right now and let him really make sure our arm's safe. We don't want to take any chance of having any type of injury to Kaysen Evans. We want to make sure he is 100%. We don't, like I said, we don't want anybody recovering in the offseason. We want them preparing, getting better for the following season. And I'm sure Kaysen would probably like to play some summer ball this year. I'm sure he'd get some invites, maybe to Cape Cod League. That'd be interesting. That'd be something to kind of look into and track this summer as the guys in the Cape Cod League and different leagues around the country. Another big story. CJ Weinstein, a commit for LSU, is in the running for the 2026 National Player of the Year. And from everything I'm reading around, we have a good chance to get him to campus. Now, we have to take that with a grain of salt right now because these things change. Money changes. You heard Ben McDonald Tuesday night on the broadcast how out of high school the Braves drafted him and the numbers just kept going up and going up and going up. Now, you hear the numbers today of, if they got to 100,000, he was gone. Well, money's a little different now. 100,000 went a lot further back in the day. But I'm excited to get a guy like CJ Weinstein at campus. The kid looks good in all the videotape I see and all the highlight tapes I see. The kid looks great. So hopefully we can get him to campus. Let's say what's up in the chat real quick. Tiger Joker, what's up, buddy? Robbie Plaisance, how we doing, my man? Babbing on the Bayou, what's up, my man? He has a show tonight, I believe at 7 o'clock with AP, talking some football on Babbing on the Bayou. And Tiger Joker, Schmidt needs to give you depth for sure if it's a doubleheader. Yeah. That's one thing. The one knock on Schmidt I will give him this year is the depth. I think he's gotten you to the 6th inning. I was actually talking about this earlier with somebody. I think he's gotten you to the 6th inning one time this year. Not saying he doesn't have the ability. It's just depth has been an issue. He's been a more of a 4 and 2/3, maybe a 5 inning guy. That's why I'm so high on Kaysen because he gives you the depth. Him and Cooper Moore really and truly gave you the depth. So that's why I miss Kaysen so much. How you doing, Dailey Joy? Oh, well, you don't have homework. Kobe Stringer, jump up to 120 MLB pipeline rankings. Stop talking. Don't talk it into existence. And our buddy David Billiot is in the building. What's some other things we could talk about real quick? This weekend, South Carolina. I know I've come out and I made my pick on the weekend, and I've been open about it. Jay talked about it today, how they have some good pitching they're going to face, and this team is not bad. They've turned it around really well since Paul Maneri left. I'm not giving up on the boys, but I'm being realistic on what we have at the moment as far as we're playing a lot of young guys. And the young guys have been doing well. Look at Jack Rucker, 3 for 3 the other night. But with young guys come young guy mistakes. And we just got to prepare for those. We got to accept those as learning and growing pains. So don't be too hard on the young guys. Try to think if there's anything else I need to try to think. Oh, okay. I'm reading what Tiger Joker has to say real quick. He's got to the 6th, but only passed the 6th one time. Okay. Yeah. And Tiger Joker's right. Let me pull this up real quick. So the hoodie at Jesus One Apparel, if y'all did not see, I put on my X account that if you buy a hoodie or if you have bought the white, purple, and gold hoodie from JesusOneApparel.com, and you've used the Walk It Off Talk code, you post your receipt, you are up for $100 gift card to Jesus One Apparel. And it is, yes, currently still on the website and available. So it's going to be coming off the store tomorrow night. Make sure if you want one, if you don't want one, you're crazy because you're comfy as can be. But if you want to get one, make sure you go make that purchase tonight. It's not expensive. I believe it's $24 after the code. I think $30 with tax and shipping. So go over there, get your Jesus One hoodie at JesusOneApparel.com. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off, and post a comment. You are in the running of winning a $100 gift card to Jesus One Apparel. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and let's pull up the pick to click giveaway for Tuesday. This is for the Nate Ackenhausen card. We have 3 potential winners: Miss Alexandra, Mr. DeCanes, and Mark Berger. So these are the people that are available to win the Nate Ackenhausen card. Here we go. And the winner is Mr. Mark Berger. Mr. Mark Berger, you are the winner, sir. Make sure you message me on X at the Paul Jerry 16 account to figure out how to get you that card. All right. Just trying to buy a little more time for Miss Dailey Joy to get into the show. We are going to take a break here in a minute and pay some bills before she gets here. Make sure y'all in the chat are at putting in questions for Miss Dailey Joy. It's going to be a fun conversation tonight. And I have a guest for next week. I think a lot of you will enjoy. I know one person in the chat knows who I'm bringing on next Thursday. And I think y'all are going to enjoy that show. How does so everybody wanted William Schmidt on Friday. Y'all are getting your wish now, aren't you? Let's see. They have 9 in the 150 right now for LSU signees or MLB pipeline. Oh, let's talk about MLB pipeline. Let's talk about Dylan Cruz. I'm pretty sure all of you saw the video of Dylan Cruz today hitting the bomb over there for the Rochester Red Wings a Nationals AAA organization. That swing looked a lot similar to how it looked in 23, right? I think old Dylan said, "Don't worry about my swing. I got it. I know what used to work." Oh, Reliable came back and yowza, it worked. I think Robbie commented earlier, I hope the Nationals do trade him out of the Nationals organization. I think there's just better organizations for him to be a part of. And while we're speaking about players in minor leagues, what's up, Uncle Randy? I see you in the chat, bud. Uncle's heading to the box tomorrow. Uncle, you may be the only one at the box tomorrow, bud, because they're probably going to end up playing a doubleheader on Saturday from what everything is looking. Easy put out a post saying that they're going to make the decision on whether or not to play tomorrow night or a doubleheader on Saturday late into the morning hours. So I expect between 9 and 11 a.m. tomorrow for the decision for tomorrow night. Joker, are you still saying 1-8 remaining SEC record? I am. Unfortunately, I am. I said it. I'm going to stand behind it. Doesn't make me a popular person, but I'm not going to sugarcoat anything or try to sunshine pump. No, no problem, Uncle Randy. I got you. I just with Case Evans not throwing this weekend, I'm confident to say Cason's not going to throw this weekend. I'm confident in saying that. Injuries to John Pearson, injuries to Chris Stanfield, Jake Brown being gone. You're really limited on depth on the bench and the bullpen. Your pitching is thin. So I just don't see, the arms that get you there, to be completely honest. Hope the statue is still is for second game of the it better be. It better be. If it's not, I'm gonna have to fuss with somebody. I wouldn't push Case until he's ready. He has a bright future ahead. Yeah. And just because Schmitty is pitching on Friday, heads up, Kaysen is still your Friday guy next year. Accept it. Pay your taxes, get it notarized. It's done. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about Kate Anderson, about him being caught up to the show this year. Relax. It's not going to happen. I honestly want to see Cade in Double-A for the remainder of this year and possibly beginning of next year. Why? Your best prospects are in Double-A. You're going to see the best talent in Double-A. Yeah, you have guys kind of like Triple-A is kind of a holding pin a lot of times for guys with major league talent, but are not in the show. But organization's best prospects are in Double-A, and he's doing a phenomenal job. I want to see Cade in some Mariners gear, trust me, but he needs to continue refining, because don't forget, I want to also see what Cade does with that AAA MLB baseball, because the baseball does change from AA to AAA. So I'd like to see what he does with that. But all in all, I think, man, you got to look at the prospects we have, and the way the ball jumps off of Ethan Fry's bat. The way, like I said the other day, it catapults. It's ridiculous. He's going to be a hard guy to keep down in the minors. A hard guy to keep down, because he's also hungry. What are the differences in the ball? Uncle Randy asked. I'm not completely sure. I believe it's seam height. So I think so. I know it's hard to see on camera. So this is the NCAA ball. Matter of fact, this is a NCAA SEC ball. And so it's the seam height. So if you hold the ball up and you look at it like this, you will see how high or how low the seams are to the leather. I think in AA, I'm confident saying in AA and high A ball, low A ball, the seams are higher off the leather, which helps pitchers a lot of times with rotation, with spin, and break, and also ride on fastballs. Now, when those seams get a little lower, I want to see what happens with Cade. I think he'll be fine. I'm not saying he won't be fine or he'll have any issues. I would just like to see what he does in that moment or with that ball before he gets to the show. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you ever want to do is take a young prospect like Cade, and throw him to the wolves so soon when he has so much talent and so much talent, so much promise for such a long time in professional baseball. I want to see him take his time, get developed, get stronger, get bigger, and then move on to Major League Baseball and have a long career. Who do you think is going to be the better pro, Kate Anderson or Anthony Ianson? They're both pitching elite right now. That's hard because they pitch so differently. Ant's throwing triple digits. Cade is reminding me of like a Cliff Lee for the Phillies. Glavinish, even if you're a Braves fan, really Glavinish as well. With throwing a little bit harder, which Glavin threw harder in his early years, same as Maddox, but Cade's so refined. It's like they're both pitchers, but with Cade's kind of like you're watching art when you see that sweeper kind of break across the plate and that two-seamer dive in and that fastball ride. It's just so pretty. Anthony's going to attack. They're different pitchers. Who has a better pro career? I'll go Cade. Because it's so hard to find lefties like Cade, man. The old saying was always, it's just really hard to find lefties like Cade, man. So, okay. So, let's see. All right, let's go ahead and pay some bills, and then when we come back, we'll have Miss Dailey Joy with us. See you in a minute.
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. Like that truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. Like no matter what we're gonna face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, like Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, like he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test.
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LSU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus One. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lemise Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemise Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemise Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredients in anything made is love. Lamy Sourdough Bakery. Now, Dailey Joy doesn't need any type of introduction, but we're talking about an LSU graduate, an influencer, a troll at times, an A&M hater, but most importantly, the owner and founder of SEC Pretty and Petty, Miss Dailey Joy. How are you doing, young lady?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
The influencer thing got you going, huh?
Forgot a bandwagon fan.
You're a bandwagon fan. Oh, I forgot to say, a non-ball knower. Like both of us.
Neither of us know ball. Bandwagon fan.
How does it feel to be the most wanted guest on X?
That's so not even true. Like, I don't know where y'all are getting your information from.
I'm just seeing all the requests. I'm just seeing all the requests on X.
It's really not the case. I promise you that.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Praying that the weather holds for baseball this weekend. But, good. Happy to be here. Happy to be talking some ball with you.
It's already canceled Jazz Fest, I saw earlier.
Yep.
So
yeah, no, I mean, we're not playing tomorrow. Like, I've already just accepted that as fact.
See, I always think that, but then every time I think that, we always play, and then everything has to change.
The last time I was in Baton Rouge for a game like that was the Jared Jones walk-off for Tennessee last year. So I'm not there this year. So who knows what they'll do.
What's your feelings right now of the season?
I mean, you're obviously disappointed.
Yeah.
I think anyone that has any kind of like fan expectation for LSU baseball is disappointed. I think there is something to be said for Jay coming out and being like, hey, I might have messed up this thing. Like that takes a lot of guts. And I have a lot of respect for Jay for just coming out and being like, I probably didn't handle the portal correctly. I should have done some things differently. This will never happen again. And I feel like Jay's earned the right to have us sit back and just let him do what he's really good at. If you are one of the actual trolls in real life that thinks he needs to be fired, just take many seats and delete your X account. Like, this is just, you're a waste of internet space, not of world space, but internet space. It's so asinine to me that our fans are like, for as good as we've been and for as much good baseball as we've watched, how completely clueless some of them are. And that's why I quote tweeted, earlier this week, a Texas fan said, like, if you're a fan of a program that wins like this, and this is where you're at right now, are you happy or are you upset? And every single person in the comments was like, I would sell my soul for that. And I'm like, we've become so spoiled that we're now entitled. We're the Alabama of college baseball, that we think that we just need to be there every year. We're supposed to win it every single year. And it's just not a feasible thing to ask for. So I'm disappointed, but I'm not mad.
For a Texas account, a Texas Longhorns account, to come out and say, hey, would you want this? That's should show everybody, because who do Texas fans think invented everything?
Themselves.
Texas. For them to come out and say, oh, would you want this? That's ridiculous.
No, it's insane.
And what hasn't Jay earned?
Right.
Because people forget it took Skip 7 years, that guy, the king, to win one. And
Jay's doing it in maybe the most competitive environment we've ever seen in college baseball with the portal and NIL.
Yeah.
And we all know, we've all talked about the money thing. He's also last year probably did it not playing players the way that other teams were paying players. So it's like you have to give Jay like the opportunity to make it right. And he's already proven to you, if you watch the 24 season and then you watch the 25 season, that he's capable of taking a team that isn't very good and making them a national championship team 1 year later. So,
and people complained about the 24 season like we were the worst team in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean,
we won less than 30 games.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
How much would anybody give to have the 24 team or 24 season right now?
No, literally. Actually,
it's in the Nate Yesky crowd as well.
Yeah, I think the problem is, especially in like the instant gratification era, we're used to immediately wanting to like hold someone accountable for something. And it's okay to just say, like, hey, the roster this year just like wasn't it. And they weren't conducive and it wasn't cohesive. And Jay saying he didn't do some right things in the portal. Like, Jay basically came out and said, hold me accountable. Like, I'm the one that messed this up. So all the firing situations, I think too, something I have to remind myself a lot is that we are a baseball school for sure, but we are still a football school. And the football fans that casually watch baseball are used to every year having a coordinator or a coach or someone to hold accountable. It doesn't work that way in college baseball. It's not always a coaching or a personnel fault. Like sometimes it's just the roster that you have built gets plagued by injuries and that some of the guys aren't as good as you thought they were. Like there are some things that just happen like that in college baseball, but our football fans that are just casual baseball watchers want to talk. And I'm like, pipe down a second. Like you go back to yelling about Brian Kelly. Well, the people that have watched baseball for a while are over here.
We're going to have to talk about Brian Kelly at some point. Oh God. But people forget. So I blame COVID for the stupidity of LSU baseball fans because people don't remember 2022.
Yeah.
Then 23 happens, 24 happens. So they're like, oh, we won 2 in 3 years. He won 2 in 4 years. Still great. What is so I always say LSU baseball fans are the worst fans in the country or the best fans in the country. How do you see that?
No, I completely agree with you. I think we're our own worst enemy. Like we're going to immediately talk poorly about
players.
I have to be careful. I'm going to get in so much trouble.
You ain't got to be careful. Ain't nobody watching this. Just me and you. ain't nobody here.
I think we're so quick to, and I'll say I will put myself in there, so quick to immediately want to have a hot take about a player, or we're immediately the one that wants to call out an older personnel player that we should be better. I saw a TikTok yesterday that infuriated me about Chris Stanfield, and they were making fun of the way that he looked in the dugout on the game on Tuesday, and he did look very tired. Someone had said like he might have looked like he had taken something, and I commented and I was like, that kid has laid his body out for this team over and over and over again. So yeah, if he's on some medicine to make himself feel better, I'm fine with that.
He needs Toradol. I want him walking around like Aaron Rodgers at halftime. I want him like that.
Y'all stop. But we're so quick to just like bash and forget that these kids see this. The reason the Stephen Milam thing makes me so mad, I'm going to be so for real with you, is because Stephen Milam saw that crap. Stephen Milam was pissed off. You're talking about the one guy who is, if he's not in your infield, you probably have 50 errors on the infield this season because he's the one person that knows how to play his position. And you have the audacity to get up there and talk about how he's coming up to the plate to bat? Shut up and sit down.
I love you. Look.
Like, where do you get off?
And
because I know you've never played that position. I know you weren't there in purple and gold. Those of you that want to talk about how y'all all know me and you know my family, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. You weren't at LSU when I was at LSU. You weren't there. I didn't see you suited up in a jersey. I was in the Bregman era. I saw what a good shortstop looks like, and I know what Stephen Milam is doing.
The best shortstop in LSU history, in my mind.
So
in my mind,
sit down and zip it. And that's the part that pisses me off. You have the audacity to get online, and anybody with a microphone, me included, can say whatever the heck they want to say about a player and act like there's no repercussions for that. If you think those kids aren't on social media reading the bull that you're saying, you're ignorant.
I know they are.
You're ignorant. And you have their mothers telling you to do better. And you still think it's funny. You still thought it was a good idea to keep it up.
That right there. And I'm gonna go even further than Milam because there's been other players. I don't even repeat what they say about them because to me it's just like, one, you're all 40-plus-year-old men. You all have children. If you don't, it's because there's a reason for that. Like, because no one wants to sleep with you. But would you want someone talking about your children like that?
Correct.
Because I have 2 boys. My wife calls our boys the Pearson boys because they're the same builds as the Pearson boys.
Love them.
Love them to death. Great family, great kids. And having a microphone now, like I'm not gonna lie, have I always been the, oh, it's okay, guys, we'll get them next time?
Right.
No, but I'm not
No,
going to get on a
and
microphone.
And you don't have to be that. Like, I think that's the
No.
part. You can talk constructively about you can talk constructively about a player. I love Kason Evans. I have not kept that a secret. I am a Kason Evans stan. I love him. I love his family. Very close with them. I love Kason. I could sit here right now and say, Kason's not having the year he wanted to have. Kason isn't performing at the level that he performed at last year. And I would say all of those things to Miss Kim.
Yeah.
And I would say that, and I think I could have an honest conversation with Kason about it. But I'm capable of doing that without completely bashing someone and their abilities as a player. Like, that's where there is a line, and
yes,
some of us are crossing it. Also, can I just be so
most of us are crossing it.
You don't work for ESPN. You're not you're talking about clicks. Every time you bash someone, you get more responses than you do retweets and likes because everyone thinks you're an idiot. And you keep going. Talking about riding your coattails of what? Your 700 followers?
Hey now, be nice.
But you would never say something like that.
No,
you would
I
never
wouldn't.
accuse someone of using you to ride coattails.
No, because I don't have coattails. I don't have enough money for a coat.
That's exactly what I said.
It's just, I sit there and I watch it, and like, I'll be honest, I'd never had the thought that one day I'd be sitting with a microphone in my damn face. I'll be 100% honest. It happened. Cool. And I've got opportunities to meet some of these guys and meet their families. Like, MVP of all the families, Gavin Guidry's grandma.
Oh my God.
She is a gangster.
She's the best.
Gavin, if Gavin sees this, your grandma's a gangster, bro. Like,
no, she's the best.
Me and my wife are leaving that tailgate Friday before we saw you.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the tailgate, and my wife gets in the truck and she goes, "I want to party with Gavin Guidry's grandma."
No, literally.
She's awesome.
She was at our tailgate on Saturday. So
yeah.
I was at not the one.
Yeah.
The one I was at before I saw y'all.
I saw her Saturday night after. That's right.
I was with Chance Brown's dad boiled crawfish for the families and invited us to go. So we went, and I sat at a table across from her and ate boiled crawfish. And this is probably I'm only gonna flex one time.
You can hold on.
The coolest person I've ever eaten crawfish with is Billy Cannon. And I didn't even know I was doing it until like 30 minutes into the situation. Okay. Gavin Guidry's grandma is a close second. I mean, it was.
When did you eat crawfish with Billy Cannon?
Oh God, I was probably.
That had to be because I was like, I was
probably in middle school.
Okay. Okay.
No, I mean it was.
I'm not questioning you. I was just like,
no.
I know Dailey's not that old.
No, I was. I mean, I'm in my 30s. I was probably.
I wouldn't have put you past 25. I'll be honest with you.
I'll take that.
I thought I was much older than you.
No, it was probably. I graduated. It was actually probably before I graduated high school, and I graduated high school in 2012. So 2009-ish is what I would guess.
My wife.
Yeah, so that's probably what I would guess. And so yeah, my dad invited me and my brother. Like, we were in town visiting my dad, and he was like, "Come on, we're going to a crawfish boil." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm sitting there eating crawfish, and football came up, and I'm just chit chatting, and I get up to go get a drink, and my dad jumps up, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like grabbing my arm. And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you know who you're talking to?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "You're talking to Billy Cannon about LSU football." He's like, "You need to mark this date down because this is like stuff that doesn't happen." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I don't even think really then I knew the extreme of it. No. And then as I got older, I was like, "Wait, that's a really cool thing I get to say I did."
Yeah. I think the coolest person I ever met was Gavin Guidry's mom. Like, I'm like legit. I still think about that woman. Like, I need to do something for her. Let's say hi to some people in chat just for coming in. Mr. David Billiot. I know you know David.
John Eads, the man.
John Eads. You called us goats, buddy. You are the goat. You are, and I was not lying. I'm gonna need you on the show here at the end of the season to break some stuff down.
No one better than John Eads.
Uncle Randy, Dailey Joy is a force of nature. Yes, she is. I told y'all tonight was gonna be fun. I told y'all that. So I want to add this to the recruiting thing too. People forget Jay was in Omaha. Like, the number one player he went after couldn't come visit because we were in Omaha.
Right.
And he went to Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jay said it. I listened to his radio show, I think 2 weeks ago. It was the day before the Jake Brown news broke, which I knew it was breaking. And so I was listening to the radio show to see if he would talk about it there or if he was going to wait until the next day.
Yeah.
And, but Jay said that about recruiting. He was like, it is difficult. I'm not going to pretend like it's not. But then Jay said, like, give me that challenge every year, because there's no better recruiting tool than saying, hey buddy, we just won the game to go play for the national championship. When are you able to come visit? Like, there's no bigger flex than that to be in Omaha. Yeah, sure. Obviously there's going to be kids that want to go physically see your school. And if they can't, they might go somewhere else, like at Tennessee. But also at the end of the day, like, the trophies speak for themselves.
Yeah. And I forget. Oh, it was the Heath Shorter show the other night. People like, he's 25% of those trophies.
Yeah.
He's been here 4 years.
4 years.
Give the man a break.
Yeah.
Just give him a slight break. That
And
Jake
some
Brown
money.
news.
Give him a break.
Oh my God. Do you want to go there or do you want to stay? Because I wasn't able to ask you what you want to stay away from.
There's nothing I want to stay away from. I mean, I just went in on people there's nothing
We can go anywhere.
We can talk about anything. I don't care.
What is your take on the rev share thing? Because I've been called an idiot. I don't know what rev share is. Now, did I mistakenly call it NIL? Yeah, but we all get what I'm saying. No,
I know what you're saying.
Right?
I think it's tricky. I think it's going to continue to be tricky. I have I'm not going to say that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to be politically correct in one situation. I think that you're already seeing schools struggle with how to navigate rev share and NIL. Arkansas last week got rid of both of their tennis programs because when it comes to rev share, they know that in order to compete at the highest level in the sports that matter and actually make you money, you have to give those sports money. And they're not going to they were like, well, we're just going to get rid of these programs because they're never going to be money makers. And, yeah, it's just, I think it's we as fans always think we know best. And it's a reminder that, like, our athletic directors and our coaches are also navigating all of this for the first time. Like, we're all just doing the best that we know how. So I have grace for that. At the same time, common sense tells you that your sport that's won 2 national championships in 4 years should probably get a good dose of money.
You know what the problem is?
You know what?
What?
You're spoiled. You're spoiled.
Oh, you're not spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten. But I think, like, if I'm honest, we all, like, we've never been more spoiled than we are right now. We've gotten every single coach that we wanted. We got Lane Kiffin. We got Will Wade back. You got Kim Mulkey. You got Jay Johnson. I mean, what? And you got
I'll
Jay
even
Clark.
say Will Clark. Jay
Jay
Clark. Yeah, not Will
Jay
Clark.
Clark's he's the best in the business. So
Beth Tarina kept her job too.
Yeah, and I think she's won enough this year that she's going to be safe. And
that spotlight came off.
And I don't think, if I'm honest with y'all, I don't think even if she hadn't we've had to pay so much in buyouts. He wouldn't have been willing to do
booster fatigue. It'd be booster fatigue. It's like, hey, we're gonna fire Beth. What more do you want from me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's just, especially because it's not. You could afford to go do that with Will Wade because basketball is a revenue sport. Honestly, even if you're just, like, kind of good, like, you don't have to be great, and basketball is going to make money. Matt McMahon made money. Like, that's.
Yeah. I don't know how it makes money.
Your struggle is and always will be, I think, for as long as Kim Mulkey's there, the battle is always going to be between women's basketball and baseball. And it just is what it is.
But see, I don't see the battle, though. Like, don't get me wrong.
I'm talking about in terms of rev share.
No, that's what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong. You have to feed football. That beast needs its food. Like, you need to feed football the rev share. What's wrong?
I was reading a comment.
What happened? What happened?
Is Jay overpaid?
Oh, he's joking. He's joking. Somebody came.
But then
out.
I just saw is Jay overpaid, but then I saw the LOL and I realized it was not a serious
She-
question. But at first
Joker,
I was
she
like,
was about to go in on you, buddy.
I was like, are we really about to do this?
Somebody said that, I think, in his show the other day, that he was overpaid. I'm just like, he's the least paid coach on your campus. Maybe more than Jay Clark.
I do think he makes more than Jay Clark.
But talking about paying coaches, people don't realize this year, this year was the first year he was able to pay Tucko, Wanaka, and Simpson. They were all making $50K.
Yep.
And I know that for a fact because Tucko's wife told me. I know Tucko's wife. I've known her since I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
So
I think they're navigating the best they know. And I think that, like, we as fans do need to take a step back and just say, like, okay, we've gotten every head coach we wanted. Now, if we start getting, like, if there's all of a sudden a bunch of rumors that Jay is jumping ship, and
I've heard enough.
I mean,
not this year. This year.
I've heard some this year, but then I like call people and they're like, that's not happening. Like, that's not true. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you so much. But like, I think there is a time, and I'll be honest with you. I think Verge knows that, like, that's a coach he can't afford to lose. And so
no,
I think as much as everyone was like, we have to give money, and that's a great thing. I'm not saying anyone don't do that. Everyone that has done that is incredible. Way to go. Yeah. You doing that is also a visibility factor for the AD to go, like, okay, our fans are not willing to lose him. And I think it shows Jay, like, okay, wait, like, these people are willing to do anything they will to keep me. So I unfortunately have to trust Verge on this one and just believe that he's going to handle it the correct way.
Verge, who just quietly got a 4-year extension?
Yeah.
Quietly got a 4-year extension. That was one of those Friday news dumps.
It's just coconut water, but I wish it was not.
At least it's not Woodward now. Were you as surprised about the Woodward news as I was? Like, whenever Woodward gets fired, you probably knew more than me. Let's be honest. But when Woodward gets fired, I'm like, okay, yeah, Landry had a grudge against him. Landry was tired of Woodward. But up until then, I was like, Scott Woodward's a good AD. But then you hear all the other news. Like, I know you know the O'Sullivan story from Florida, which I'm not allowed to say on YouTube anymore, I was told.
Probably.
But
I'll probably or try to fight you, one or the other.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll just call his TRT doctor and get him another dose. Like, it'd be good. But like, you know that man's on. He's so red. You don't get that.
I know, like, for a fact.
So, let's talk about you for a minute.
Oh,
I thought this was like, it's good. Stop it. Stop. I'm going to dump on you. I thought this was like recent thing, the petty thing. I went back and looked through your Instagram. You had this before.
Yeah.
I think I just saw pretty.
I dropped it limited edition one time. I made 12 SEC petty hats one time. And they sold out in, like, I think a day or two. And I was like, great. Those of you that wanted them. Because, like, people had really wanted them. And I was like, those of you that wanted them got them. And now I'm done and I don't have to do that again. And then it over the last, like, couple months, it, like, started coming back up again. People wanted them again. And I was like, oh, I have to do another one.
Oh, I have to do another petty hat?
I have to do another one. But I would say that the problem is, like, you have all these people that are like, I want the hat, I want the hat, I want the hat, but then they don't buy it.
I'm going through that right now.
That's the struggle with it all, I think, is, like, it's just, you have to take people's word for something, like, when they want it, and then you don't know. So, I mean, I did 12 more. And of those 12, sold 10 of them. I gave Lane 2 of them.
Yeah. And I'm very lucky to feel like I have an SEC petty hat in my head. And my wife tells me it fits me perfectly.
It looks great on you. I know
It
you
looks
happen to catch me at the right time because I didn't even plan. I didn't know how many hats I was going to give Lane. I kind of like, because if I'm being honest, I wasn't even sure I was going to give Lane hats. So I brought just like a plethora, and I was like, okay, if I give them to him, then I have some to give to him, and then I have a few left if people want them. And then if not, I just have more left if people want them. And yeah, by the time I saw y'all on Saturday, I had
Yeah.
I had I had 3 in my hands when I left my car at the tailgate.
You had
Marcy
one.
Milam stopped me and bought one of them. Someone
Shout
else
out
stopped
Miss
me and bought
Milam.
another one, and then you wanted the bet, and I was like, all right, we're out now.
Would you have went to football ops for Brian Kelly?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? No way. I mean, I wouldn't have been allowed to. Former players couldn't even walk in the room. What makes
You're
me
right. Unless you're DD Bro's daughter. But
Thank you. Always throw it out there.
well, that's not new. That's not new information. That's
No, I
that's
know.
out there. There's other information that's not out there. You want me to talk about it? No, not really. So give everybody a glimpse into, because I've never met Lane. I don't think anybody in the chat other than Easy has probably met Lane. What's Lane like from the female point of view? It's even better. Like just as a person,
Well, I'm gonna text you personally after this, and
You're gonna kill me.
I'll answer it more. No, I'll answer it more in depth. Okay, wait. Can I acknowledge John Eads' question really quickly? Because I get that
Where is it?
a lot. When does SEC handsome drop? I need y'all to know that SEC handsome is an insult, and here's why. The whole reason we did SEC pretty was because the idea that women in the SEC that are 10s
The prettiest women, yeah.
end up marrying men that are like 5s because we don't have any other options. Okay. So there's not a lot of handsome men in the SEC. That's the problem. There's way more pretty women than there are handsome men. So SEC handsome is not a compliment. And so that's why SEC handsome isn't going to drop, Johnny. I might do like SEC biceps or something. That would be one that you could wear.
SEC biceps? No, he's got the
Johnny
thighs of
biceps,
thunder.
Pause, as if I'm Blake Ruffino. Pause. I mean, they're massive.
Thighs of thunder. That's what he's got. Thunder thighs. He's out there one day. I'm standing next to Bill Yacht down the foul line, and Easy sitting there with his camera recording pregame. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go bother Eads. But David looks at me and goes, his thighs are so big. I'm like, thunder thighs, man. It's thunder thighs.
The first time I met John Eads was in Omaha last year. And we were on the side. Ironically, I was leaving Rocco's. I know everyone's shocked. And I was walking back to our tailgate, and I'm walking, and it's like right at the press entrance and exit. So, but there's like people sitting on the ground on like the curb. And this man is like kind of talking to the people sitting on the curb. And I kid you not, I'm like, is that John Eads like sitting on the curb? And sure enough, it was. And I was like, John, are you good? He was like, yeah, no, I'm just waiting on my Uber. And I was like, okay, by the way, nice to meet you. Dailey Joy. And that's literally how we met. That was the first time we ever met. But every time I tweet about him, someone has to say something about his biceps. And I just laugh every time.
Oh, I'm going to find every time you tweet about Eads to talk about his thighs, because man doesn't skip
Well,
like
I mean, I said that kind of like it makes it seem like I tweet about John Eads a lot. I don't. So we're clear.
We know you don't. We know you don't.
Just needed to make that clear.
Has being an influencer helped your SEC pretty business?
Can we stop?
So okay. You have left your day job. So SEC
Yes.
pretty is full time.
Full time.
And you've gotten on like the thumbnail is you on the SEC. Was at the game, not the game day, but SEC today.
No, SEC.
Well,
it was the SEC Nation.
SEC Nation set.
Yeah, it's game day, but for SEC.
Crane and Cone, or now Crane and Cone. Let's not talk about the former name. The Joe Rogan of LSU, Blake Ruffino has shown it. How so? Did you see that blowing up the way it did? Because I remember when you dropped it, I was like, I like Joy. I was like, I'm gonna buy my wife a hat just to support her. I was just like, LSU, let's do it. She hates the Aggies too. But did you think just having that hat would just
Never in a million years. I genuinely, I put it on. I wore it to Omaha last year. That's the first place I ever wore it. And I am going to be so honest. I literally put it on a hat for me, and I was like, this is cool. Like, that was really it. And believe it or not, I always have given him credit. I will always give him credit. Kramer Robertson is really the reason that I actually did it. We won the Natty. Everyone went to Blatt's after, and I was in the like player celebration area, and Kramer walks up with Joe Schwartz and Trey Morgan, and he taps me on the head. And me and Kramer were at LSU at the same time, but we didn't really run in similar circles. At that time, it was kind of odd. Like football players, and I worked in football recruiting, so I was like friends with those people. And then baseball players were like their own separate entity, and like we didn't really cross contaminate. So I didn't really know Kramer. I had like a couple interactions with him, but like we weren't friends. And he like tapped me on the head, and he was like, "Where'd you get that hat?" And I was like, "It's mine. Like I put the letters on the hat." And he was like, "How much do I have to pay for you to take that hat off your head?" And I was like,
that could go multiple different ways.
No, it could have really, but that's not the way that it was going.
Yeah, I know.
And then like, as we kept talking, we realized like we went to school together. We had some mutual friends. Like we just started talking and became friends. And he was probably the fourth or fifth person that really wanted the hat, but he was like adamant about it. He was like, "No, seriously, I want your hat. Like, can I have it? Like, how much?" Like he was really trying to get it. And I was like, "You know what, Kramer?" I was like, "I actually think that I'm going to like start a business with this. So I don't want to give you this hat because I want, if this blows up, I want to keep the first hat I ever made. Like that is important to have." And I said, "But when I go home, I'm probably going to make some and I will just send you one. Like, if that's okay, I'll just send you one." I went home, I bought 12 hats. I sent Kramer one, and Kramer posted it pretty much immediately. And I was sold out within like a couple of minutes.
Really?
And so I give Kramer a lot of credit. Like, if you go back and look on my Instagram, there's like an SEC pretty highlight, and it's one of the first ones is me, like Kramer posting it and me reposting it and saying like, "Thank you for sharing and thank you for making me say yes," because I don't know if I really would have done it if Kramer hadn't have really pushed me to do it. So I give Kramer a lot of credit for that.
Did you know he's Kim Mulkey's son?
I had no idea, but I'm so glad.
You gotta laugh a little bit.
People are
well,
crazy.
what's next? What's next?
I don't know
for
who's
you?
listening and just decided to buy a hat, but I just wanted to say thank you because I just got a notification.
Yes. My wife loves hers, by the way, even though I have to steal it from her sometimes when I used to have it back here. It's still over there. It's just not on the camera right now.
It's okay.
You never answered the question. So, so we're not going to talk about who Lane is. What was it like in football ops, and what was that visit and that knowing that your X profile and your followership and your takes, and then SEC pretty kind of got you that point to that point.
Okay. Again, not trying to flex.
No, you're fine.
I went to football ops twice. So I went Thursday and then I went again on Saturday.
Okay.
When I went Thursday night, everything was getting wrapped up. I will go on record and say this. The coolest person I met that day was not Lane Kiffin, and it wasn't Cookie. When we walked in Lane's office, Billy Glasscock was standing right there, and Lane said, "This is Billy, our GM." And I said, "Nice to meet you." That was the coolest person I met.
Really?
Mainly just because I think your GMs now play such a mega role in building your roster and how everything's go. Oh, thank you, Kara. You're so sweet. I will get it in the mail to you tomorrow, I promise. And so I think GMs are still like, even though we now all have them, I don't know if they're necessarily appreciated the way that I think they should be. And so I like meeting him. I'm like, "So you built our roster. Like you're the mastermind here." Like meeting him was really cool. But then he walked out. We were talking to Lane, talking to Cookie. Lane asked me, about the business, how it started. And I, kind of got to tell him. And I said, "I brought you the petty hat because I don't know a coach in the SEC that's more petty than you." And he thought it was hilarious. Like he took that really well, which I was grateful for because you never know like how they're going to react. I figured he could take it. Like I didn't call him a hoe, so I wasn't super worried.
But yeah, thank
like,
you. I asked you about a hat idea I had. You were like, "No, don't do that." And I was just like, "Thank God I asked her.
Yeah,
Thank God."
I got you. Yeah, so that was a really cool experience. We ended up leaving like pretty quickly Thursday night. He had to go play pickleball with Cookie. He had a time. He was ready to go. So he had to go to court to table. When we went back Saturday, it was a much more lively environment. That was the day that they did walk through in Tiger Stadium. I will say thank you a million times to Lane because I literally walked in his office at 10:45 and they had walked through at 11, and he was still like very gracious. Let us take more pictures. I will say it was Lane's idea for me to take the picture with Cookie in front of
Really?
like where the recruits take it. Like that was a Lane idea. So will never be enough words for how grateful I am, one, to have ever walked in that door, but two, for how kind and generous he was when I got inside. Like, I think some people, like, I don't know what people's perception is, but I wasn't even, like, I was fully prepared to drop the hats off. No one ever even know I went in there. Like, I was okay with not getting a picture. Like, I was just going to be grateful if he ever posted it. When he was like, no, we're making Cookie take the hat and put it on and go take it where the recruits do it. I was like, really? Like, I was like kind of overcome with emotion a little bit. And then when we went back Saturday, he was still kind and gracious. We took more pictures. That day we walked all around football ops. We had recruits in there, so that was kind of cool. And then you're just seeing, it was really full circle for me because that's the building that I like started working in when I was in college. That was where I decided I wanted to work in sports full time. That building looks nothing like the building that I worked in, and yet it's the exact same building. And so, yeah, it was just really cool to come. It just felt very full circle to be walking through that building and knowing like I got in there because of a dream that was probably birthed in my heart when I was working in there, and I didn't even know what it all was going to look like. So, but Lane was very kind, very gracious, very welcoming. And I'm super grateful.
See, this is my opinion, Lane. Before he was LSU's football coach, I couldn't stand him. I could not stand Lane. Now you're here, you get some grace. I think Lane, everyone looks at Lane as his persona on X. Brash, outspoken, but I think he's actually the person we think Jay Johnson is. And Jay Johnson's more or less not the person Lane is on X, but more outgoing. From everybody I talk to, Jay Johnson's just Will Ferrell fan, loves to laugh, loves to cut up, and Lane's probably more the introvert. That's my
no doubt about it. Lane is not
he doesn't want the photos. He doesn't want the
pictures.
pictures.
He's not at all the guy that like is cracking jokes. Like he's the guy in the corner that's like, when are we going home? Like that's much more Lane coded than anything. I have said this from the jump, and I think you will really appreciate this. Obviously there has been a lot of back and forth about Lane as a person and Lane's character and everything. It is what it is. I have said from day one that I think there is no better way to judge a man than by how his kids treat and talk about him. And not the thing that Knox could have stayed in Oxford. Layla lived in Oxford. His mom lived in Oxford. He could have stayed and graduated from Oxford High School. The guys that he had taken deep into the playoffs in Mississippi, gone to state championship. Like he could have done that. Landry could have, she's still at Ole Miss, but like she basically lives in Baton Rouge full time. And you could argue that part of that is for wit, and that's fine too. All that to be said, if you are willing to follow your dad just about anywhere, he can't be that bad of a human being. And
what gives me a lot of respect for Lane. Now, granted, I know he's a head football coach in the SEC. He's paid well. The drama and the crap's going to come with the paycheck, right? The way people talk about Landry, the way people talk about him and his ex-wife. For him to have, because we know he has those bullets in the gun. He can fire at you, but he doesn't. And like you're saying, for his ex-wife to follow him.
Yeah.
He could have went to Florida as well with all of his family. Where he came here. So I have a lot of respect for him in that regard. And I'm not gonna lie, when he first got hired, I was nervous because I was like, okay, we had O. It was fun, but we're hungover. Then we got BK, who went way too far. I will say this. I don't like BK as much as you don't like BK. I'll give him one saving grace though. We needed a BK at least for 1 year to kind of bring the reins back in. Because with they kind of got outside of the barriers.
Yeah, I think you needed a business guy in there. Like you couldn't have gone from an Edo to a Lane. Like that wouldn't have worked.
because that O would still be at LSU.
That's also true. But yeah, Brian. I can't. It's really hard for me to muster up one good thing to say about that man.
Well, no, I'm not trying.
I can't.
I'm saying LSU needed that, not Brian Kelly's
They needed a business
whatever.
guy. I wish we would have hired somebody else and paid them less money and given them a shorter contract. But that goes back, the problem is, that's not a Brian Kelly problem. That's a Scott Woodward problem.
Yeah.
And
when I found out they went back to him and gave him more money.
And he hired Kim. And I'm like, he screwed us the same way he screwed A&M.
Well, he didn't give Jimbo that contract.
But he hired Jimbo in the first place.
He did. We almost hired Jimbo.
But we didn't.
I know we didn't. We did hire Bo Pelini back, which is hilarious. We were just trying to bring that 03 stuff. I know. I know. But he wanted.
But acting like Scott Woodward being a big fisherman has always worked out is an insane take. That is the problem. He wanted to go. Scott Woodward got Brian Kelly for Scott Woodward's ego, not because it was what was the best LSU.
Because he told him no. And he went back to him, offered him more money, and they were like, well, can't pass this
and he wanted to get the guy that everyone thought was ungettable. He wasn't ungettable. He was unwantable. The only person that wanted him was Scott Woodward.
Notre Dame.
God,
Notre Dame.
I don't know how to, not go off a cliff when I'm...
Well, he wanted to hire O'Sullivan from Florida.
Yeah, no, thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
You think we had drama?
Oh my gosh.
Other coaches?
Talk about that's a man I cannot stand.
Have you met him?
No, but I know someone that's very close to him, and
you can't stand that person either.
Become that way. I can't to even just take the personal antics out of it, take what's happened in his personal life off the table.
Yeah.
The way he acted in the postseason last year, completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
Having to take a leave of absence this year from your team. At some point, I am not, one thing y'all will learn about me, I am not the girl that believes everything that I read. I am very I'm not anti-modern media in any way, shape, or form. I'm a part of that. But I get really worked up about news articles and things like that people just post and don't actually know if there's any truth or validity to it. I have dealt with that personally with people that I really care about. There are news articles and things about them that are untrue. And so I know for a fact that happens in real life. And so I am not the person that immediately goes oh, he's guilty in any way, shape, or form. But at some point where there is this much smoke around you, there is a fire of some sort.
Yeah.
And that's why I cannot get on board the Kevin O'Sullivan train.
No.
Also, he's obnoxious. He's so
you probably met enough. He's a baseball guy that's too much of a baseball guy. You can have too much baseball in you. That's
I can't do it. I can't. And if you're going to be that obnoxious, you should be winning 2 national championships in 4 years, but you're not.
No.
And Jay has every right to be as obnoxious and belligerent as he wants to be.
And he'd get away with it here.
And he's been thrown out one time this year. And honestly, there were a couple times I'm like, come on, Jay, just do it. Just get thrown out again.
When he's looking at Mingio and saying, I'm right here. Come on. Thank you, John Eves, by the way. Thank you, John.
And then no one even realizes that they were the best of friends.
They're best friends.
I think weddings.
Yeah, he was in his wedding. They're the best of friends. And it's just
those are just men talking like men. And then you have Kevin O'Sullivan, who Kevin O'Sullivan reminds me of, or they remind me of each other, is the Coastal Carolina coach from last year. They're one and the same.
Oh yeah.
Except one of them was in a natty last year and one of them wasn't.
Yeah, well, one of them was in a natty for one game. And the other one yells at the grounds crew of a baseball stadium.
Yeah. I really hope. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of baseball season, but I would not be mad about beating Florida, taking a series from Florida.
I want it. I can't.
Oh, I
I
mean, I want
cannot
it, but I
stand
mean,
Florida. Florida scared my kids. Florida scared my oldest kid. What you reading?
all I'm gonna say is Jay got thrown out against Tennessee and has the stuff in game 3 with Kentucky. We won both games. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jay, go get thrown out some more. Like, let's do something. That's also true.
Snarl.
Yeah, no, I
Snarl.
wasn't. I was gonna make A&M my only series. Like, I wasn't gonna come home again. But I think I'm gonna come home from Florida. I don't think I can stay
We're
away.
having another tailgate.
I don't think I can stay away. I won't stay for 10 days this time. That was a long time, but I don't think I can stay away from that series.
So two more quick things. So I'm gonna get you out of here.
Okay.
I know you're on the You're on the Eastern time. Are you a Braves fan, by the way?
I don't have like a diehard Major League
Okay.
Baseball affiliation, but I mean, I'm here, so I hope that they do well. Obviously, it's just more fun when they're good.
What do you think about Will Wade coming back and how that's going to do with the basketball team? Because I know we had one player. I don't know if that's changed. It's early,
I don't
guys.
think
Who
it's
cares?
changed. But I do know that he's overseas recruiting. So I'm going to be so honest. I have a deep respect for Will Wade for so many reasons. How he handled the Wade Sims of it all, it will forever be like a big deal to me. Skylar Mays is like my brother. So Skylar and Wade obviously were really close. So that's how I got to know Wade. And I'll never forget the way that Will Wade handled that. And so he'll always have some respect for me last year. And then I really appreciate a man that's willing to come back after he was a scapegoat, because that's what he was. And
For
Scott
football.
Woodward, now here's the deal. I'm not mad at Scott Woodward for that. Like, you had to do something to save our football program. And so I'm not upset with you for it, but it doesn't make it any less fair or right to do to Will Wade. A guy that had brought you back to being someone that people talked about when it came to the sport of basketball. When I was at LSU, our basketball team was a complete and total embarrassment. And Will Wade made it fun to be an LSU basketball fan again. I find him and Lane to be similar in that arena. Like, Lane is making being an LSU football fan fun again, the same way that Will Wade made basketball fun. And I think it speaks volumes that he stayed in the state. I think like him going to McNeese was really him being like, I'm going to stay around here and hope that y'all stay.
I'm here.
I'm here. And
Texting the ex. Hey, I still miss you.
and then, I don't blame him for taking NC State in any way, shape, or form.
Go Scott too.
Yeah. But I think there was a part of most of our fan base that probably thought when he took the NC State job that there was now no way he was ever going to come home. And I think we all kind of knew, as long as Woodward was our AD, that option was never going to be on the table. So I don't blame Will Wade for going to seek greener pastures because he thought ours was closed. But I think it speaks volumes of a man that's willing to come back because of how much he loves a university. Like, loves a university. And, made incredible friendships. When I tweeted and said his first stop would be Phil's Oyster Bar, the owner Phil's texted me and was like, you're joking, but this is real. He's literally on his way. And I was like, I didn't really know that. Like, I kind of guessed. But yeah, I think it's good for us. I think it's good for the sport of basketball. I think it's good for the fans. And at the end of the day, LSU basketball making money benefits all of our other major sports. So why wouldn't we want them to be good?
Like, I'm asking one more thing, but you made me think about something.
Yeah.
The villain arc of LSU now. Do you think this is where I think it's where we need to be. Like, a part of me, I love Jay for who he is. He's my favorite coach on campus. I think everybody knows that. I have 2 jerseys with Jay Johnson's name on it. But I wish he would have play into the villain role more. Like that Jay on Sunday against Tennessee, inject that in my veins.
Yeah.
Do you think the villain arc of LSU this year coming up with, because Kim's already the diva queen of NCAA women's basketball. Lane is the most hated man in the country.
Yep.
Will Wade's right there with it. I didn't know NC State had that many fans. till Will Wade left.
Yeah.
What do you think about this villain arc?
I love it for us. I think that, like, one thing I love about LSU, our fan base, our team, like just the school in general, is that we don't ever do anything halfway. So I don't want to be halfway hated and halfway admired. I want to be all the way hated.
Yeah.
If you're going to hate us, I want you to hate us in every sport. If you're going to hate us, I want you to hate us because we are the loudest, most passionate, most in-your-face fan base that's ever existed. And like one thing that drives me absolutely insane is how much Tiger Stadium has fallen off. And I'll say it.
Yeah.
And now granted, you're looking at a girl that left 4 minutes into the third quarter of LSU A&M because I was
You should have.
But also look at the repercussions of that. That's what happens when a fan base finally says, like, we've had enough of this. I want Tiger Stadium to be like as intimidating and as scary as it used to be. And I think if you continue to hire the people that you're hiring and continue to just embrace the fact that you're the villains, your fan base is just going to go alongside that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love this for us. I love being hated. Now, the only thing I'll say is that if you're going to be this hated, you also need to be hated for winning.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to just be the villain and be the bad guy if you're not winning anything. Like, then you're just a jerk. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm tired of sitting in Tiger Stadium, like, on my toes. Like, when's it going to go bad? When's it going to go bad?
Well, and I just want to see some fight. I think you're going to see, if you as a university and you as a fan base embrace the villain era, your athletes are going to do the exact same thing. And then when they walk on the field on Saturday, it means more to them because they know that they're hated and they need to prove that you hate us for the right reasons. The part that was so infuriating watching the last 3 years of LSU football was you had like 3 players that looked like they cared.
Whit Weeks, Jane Daniels, Clyde. No, not Clyde.
I mean, last year, like, you had Trey'Dez Green. I thought Trey'Dez Green, like, he looked like he cared. Your DBs cared.
Yes.
I mean, Sorta Lane cared. I think, if I'm honest, I think Garrett Nussmeier cared. I think Garrett Nussmeier wasn't put in the best position to win.
No.
But like, you were watching a coach that didn't care, that thought that he was just going to walk in here and build a roster and that roster was going to win and he wasn't going to have to do anything. Your team is a direct reflection of who you are. So
how do you play 400 rounds and not get better? That should tell you everything you need to know about Brian Kelly.
I really think he thought that he was going to walk in and put those 3 letters on his chest, and that meant he was going to win an Natty. And I'm like, sir, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm just going to throw that out there. You had Jesus watching over your stadium, and you still couldn't win an Natty. And you thought you were going to just walk in here and do it? Jesus was watching y'all, watching you, and you couldn't win an Natty. And you thought you were going to walk down here where all the Catholics reign supreme, and
well, he saw Les Miles do it. He saw Edo do it. He goes, my IQ is higher than a room temperature, so I can win a Natty.
Exactly.
Apparently not.
You watch those guys do it in 2 different eras of college football. Also, I'm going to say it, Les Miles didn't win a Natty. Les Miles got the benefit of taking over a Nick Saban coached team.
He did. He did.
That's why Les has a Natty.
With a lot of Nick's coaching staff, too.
God. Les Miles and Brian Kelly are like, they're like right here.
Really?
Like,
they're right there?
I literally can't stand either of them. And like on occasion, Les might creep to the top. I'm not even kidding. Like, I can't stand that man.
Did Les go to jail?
No, but he should.
I know Les had problems at Kansas and here, but hush. You know you shouldn't be saying that.
No,
you stopped for a reason.
I stand by that.
You were about to say something else. That's why I was like, you stopped for a reason.
I wasn't. I could have.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're right there with me. But the difference is like, yeah, so Les inherited a Nick Saban coach team, and then Ed Orgeron happened to put together the greatest team of all time.
I stand behind that. O did not coach that team. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow coached that team. I think Joe Burrow and Joe Sloan and Steven Sminger Jr. said, "Come on, guys, we're about to be
not
really
Joe
good."
Sloan. Don't do that.
Not
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady.
Yeah, I literally put Joe Sloan on my top 5 horror movies today. He's number 4 on my top 5 horror movies.
How about the picture with him and Nuss and he turned off comments? He knew what was coming.
I wanted to quote it.
You should have.
I mean, I really thought about it.
You should.
But also,
have.
like,
I didn't want to put down on Nuss because whatever I said was going to put
correct.
down on Nuss too.
No doubt about it. And
Kentucky fans are excited.
No, I mean, I tweeted multiple times about how bad I felt for Garrett Nussmeier. I've gone to bat for Garrett Nussmeier. I haven't talked poorly about Garrett Nussmeier. That's on record. Go search Nuss on my Twitter account. You won't find a bad thing to be said.
All the bad things are under Garrett.
Search Garrett. Dare you? Yeah, God, Joe Sloan. I just got mad. Like,
Kentucky fans are excited.
No, they're excited. I know, but like, you have to remember that they are a different type of delusional. They don't. First of all, they don't know what good football looks like.
No.
When I say they, I mean they're 4 football fans because they're a basketball school.
No, and the best game they saw was the Bluegrass Miracle.
No, legitimately.
Yeah, no, legit.
I know everyone asked me if I've gone to every school in the SEC, and they're one of the ones I haven't gone to because I have said this the whole time that I want to give every school the opportunity, like their best opportunity to show me who they are, and until they're good.
I mean, they have a good head coach. I can't remember his name. He came from Oregon.
Oh, Will.
Not Will Smith. Will. Starts with an H, I bet.
Stein.
Will Stein did not start with an H, so I'll lose that bet. But he's a good coach.
No, he's great. I thought it was a great hire until he hired Joe Sloan, and then I was like,
well, I think he hired Joe. I almost guarantee he hired
an offensive guy.
Yeah, so I think he hired Joe to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you my playbook," and
yeah, I think he's kind of Joe is like, you needed an OC, so you have to hire an OC. But I think Will call more of the shots than most people think. And for Kentucky fans' sake, I hope that's the case. Because if not,
we play Kentucky this year, don't we?
Poor babies, yes.
I think in Kentucky.
In Kentucky, which I thought about. If LSU's good.
If they're good.
I will finally not. I mean, I think we're going to be good. But we all won week 1 last year and thought we were heading to a natty. Okay? Like,
I didn't.
Actually, I didn't either because I was like, guys, I fear we're not as good as we think we are. And then it got exposed. And I was like, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. I was just excited to win week 1 because.
We hadn't. And you're playing Clemson again from 2019. And they're Death Valley Junior. Like, now they get to come.
What?
I cannot wait.
No one can take away that moment for us. Like, no one can take away us getting out of week 1 purgatory because that's what
I can't wait. So, I do the pick to click stuff and I give stuff away. So I'm doing that for football season. I've already bought a LSU helmet signed by Boosie that says "Set It Off."
Love it.
That's what I'm giving away week 1. I'm too excited for football season. Too excited for the Clemson game because we get to come here. You figured out what New Orleans was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in Baton Rouge don't like going to New Orleans. Now you come to Baton Rouge.
Yeah. The Clemson fans they should be scared.
But see, okay. I want to say this earlier. The best part about LSU fans, though, with the villain era, when you walk by Tiger Stadium, when you walk by Alec Box, you can have that villain mentality and we'll give you hell, but then we'll give you a bowl of jambalaya.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll give you a beer.
But they're scared. Like, I know a good bit of Clemson fans, and they're like, we don't even know if we want to go. I'm like, good.
That's silly.
Good.
That's silly.
No, stay home. Stay home.
No, I want them to stay home too, but being scared is silly.
But I think like so many of the older people that I know, like 40s, 50s, when I say older, I just mean like older than me. No one get offended. They grew up in the era of like LSU fans like shaking buses and stealing Tim Tebow's phone number and like all of those kinds of things. And so they still think that that's how it is. And I'm like, I fear that like we haven't been good enough to be that unhinged in quite some time. I think in 2019, if I'm honest, we were all so in shock that we almost didn't know how to act for a second. We were like, wait.
What gets me kind of like fired up sometimes or like one to argue, people act like, oh, we knew that team was the best team in ever. I'm like, I
Right.
remember watching a Ole Miss game with John Reese Plumlee running up and down the field. And I was
I
just
don't know
like,
how no one remembers the Auburn game. That game was so terrifyingly close.
and it was Auburn.
And it was Auburn. And this was before I was like traveling. I was in India. I was in the airport in India trying to connect to Wi-Fi. I thought my dad was going to kill me because I was still on his phone plan. And I had turned on like data roam. I didn't care. I needed to get on the internet so I could see it was so bad. But I remember being in that, like, that's why I turned it on, because that game was that close. Like, people like to talk about the close games, and like Texas was close.
I
Ole Miss
remember
was
people
kind of
talking crap at walk-ons. I was at walk-ons watching the game, people talking crap about Joe Burrow, and I'm like, the kid's good. What's wrong with you? But yeah, it's LSU fans. That's LSU fans.
Which I'll say this, the only grace I can give anyone talking poorly about Joe Burrow, this is the only grace I can give you, is that you had not seen a good quarterback in so long that you might have actually forgotten what they looked like. You might have actually forgotten.
Jamarcus.
Now I
was
don't.
the last
think
one?
yeah.
Matt.
No, I don't count Matt. Matt
You
was
don't count
my
Matt?
era. I don't count Matt.
Uh,
I was in like the Mettenberger, Anthony Jennings,
Danny
Brandon
Etling.
Harris. Like these guys running off the field because they're scared of getting hit. I was in hell in college. I was in actual hell. My freshman year was the year after we won, or after we lost the national championship. That was my freshman year.
Oh, I was
had a
in.
visit set to LSU the day after the Natty because I was like, oh my God, campus is going to be so fun. Canceled the visit.
I'll tell you this story. So for the 2011 national championship, I was in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri at basic training at boot
Oof.
camp. And my drill sergeant had gold teeth, neck tattoos, dude from New Orleans. Just so happened to work that way. And it was a national championship game, and I'm in the barracks. I'm like, drill sergeant, I know I can't watch it. Can you update me on the game just throughout the night? Because you can go he goes, I'll think about it. First quarter, nothing. LSU Bama. I went, okay, all right. Nothing for the rest of the night. I wake up at 4 a.m. He's yelling at the top of his lungs, mad. I went,
And you're like, oh, we lost.
yeah. I said, how'd it go? We didn't cross the effing 50. Get down. I'm just like, okay. I lost, and I'm getting beat for it. Great.
Yeah. I mean, it was that was one of the most, I've seen some debilitating losses in my time. I mean, that one was brutal. I've sat in worse. Like I've sat in Tiger Stadium, and
I was there for the Georgia Jarrett Lee 2-pick-6 game.
yep. I mean, it was so weird. Like it was my freshman and junior year both were the years that like we had Bama beat with like a minute left and gave them the ball back, and they just like drove
In
down.
overtime.
One of them wasn't even.
Amari Cooper. Was
I
Amari
was
Cooper
like,
in the
you
corner?
have to be absolutely kidding me.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that this year.
No, I think we're gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
Are you just nervous, or you really don't think it's going to be what we think?
No, I am just nervous. I think we're gonna be fine. I have big, like there are some games I'm more worried about than others.
Bama always.
I'm worried about Bama, but if I'm being real with you, they're like number 3 on my worry list.
Okay, give me your worry list.
Worry about Ole Miss just from
And Oxford.
Emotional standpoint. Take the talent and the coach, take all that crap away. I worry about the emotional part of that game because when emotions get involved, you genuinely never know what's going to happen.
No.
That game worries me.
Do you think Pete's sober for that game?
I'm not
Okay. Game 2.
I I hope so. I think Austin Thomas is going to keep Pete in line.
I liked Austin.
So do I. And if you that's one person that like some
His
LSU
hands were tied.
have started to slander, and I'm like, I'll go to war for Austin Thomas. So
His hands were tied.
That guy did more for our program in a year than most people will ever know about. The only reason we have as much money to work with right now as we do is because Austin Thomas set it up that way. I will go to bat for him any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I, for personal reasons, worry about A&M.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna have a good team.
Cannot deal with them beating us again. Like, I physically cannot do it. Now,
It's been a bad year for. It's been a bad year.
It's in Death Valley, and I think you're gonna have an actual legitimate Death Valley this year, not the little like Pee Wee Death Valley we've been playing in for the last.
Is it in Death Valley?
Yeah, it's another home game because of the added additional SEC game. So the schedules are different. So it's at home.
Okay.
Because I got asked on a podcast, we play Ole Miss week 3 and A&M week 4. Which game I would rather win? And I said, do I
week
have to
4.
pick? I said week 4.
Yeah. I think Lane would pick week 4.
I think A&M. I think the Ole Miss LSU game is going to mean way more to Ole Miss than it's going to mean LSU because we got him. Y'all are upset because you lost him, but he's ours. So, yeah, I think they like want to prove something. But I think like also they're so like, oh, we're gonna be fine. We kept Trinidad, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't keep Trinidad's offense.
You didn't keep Charlie Weiss.
Like, y'all are all hype up about Trinidad, but I'm like, what if Trinidad was only as good as Charlie Weiss made him be?
Kevin Smith, George McDonald.
I'm like, yeah, y'all kept your quarterback coach, but like he's not calling plays.
Charlie Weiss worked with quarterbacks more than he did.
Also, I find it funny that Ole Miss fans have just completely forgotten about the fact that they hated when they hired Pete Golding, and the Alabama fans were thrilled when they hired Pete Golding. Pete Golding
it's the all-star from Hammond. I mean,
yeah, no, I do also find that part funny too. Like,
y'all
hired a degenerate from Hammond.
The only winning coach they have at Ole Miss played baseball at LSU.
Correct.
There's no Biancos in Mississippi until Mike moved there.
Oh, Mike got there. Yeah. No, I would rather, also just for like my own personal sanity, I need us to beat A&M. I can't have another rumor started about me that I like cussed at a 7-year-old child. I can't do this again. Like, we have to win a game. Like, we have to win a game.
We're going to talk about that. Tell me your third game first, though.
No, I said it was third on my list. So Bama is 3.
Okay, so Bama's 3. Okay.
Bama's 3.
So Ole Miss, A&M.
Ole Miss, A&M,
Bama.
I worry. There are some schools that I'm like, I don't love Tennessee. I think like at Tennessee's not ideal.
Well, see, Heupel, like if you watch the downfall of Heupel this offseason for some reason,
yeah,
they don't have a quarterback because Lane Wynn snatched their quarterback.
Yep.
Florida worries me with Summerall.
Florida, I could see. I don't worry about Florida yet, the same way that I don't worry about Auburn yet. Like, I need to see what Summerall's doing at Florida, and I need to see what Golish is doing at Auburn. I have said this publicly 100 different times. Everyone thinks that my second SEC school is Georgia. That's not true. My second SEC school is Auburn. I love Auburn. In fact, you know what? Let me just go ahead and say this right now. At Lon Phillips, if you would like to clip this portion, go for it because you can use it for the bandwagon negotiations. I went to LSU. I love LSU. LSU will always and forever be number 1 to me. The first away game I ever went to was at Auburn. And their fans treated us like we were royalty. And we beat them. And when we were walking out, they were so nice and so kind. And part of it is just the mutual hatred that we both have for Alabama. But they were so hospitable. And I literally called my dad. Their campus is beautiful. I mean, there's not a whole, like, other than like your football program is horrible, there's not a whole lot of bad things I can say about Auburn as a university. I called my dad and I said, you need to be thankful that I did not tour Auburn because you would be paying out of state tuition right now. That's how much I loved Auburn.
Really?
I loved Auburn. And that impression has always stuck with me. When I meet Auburn fans, that is still that I had the exact same experience. I went to the Final Four last year and dealt with Auburn fans. Incredible. I wholeheartedly have always enjoyed Auburn. And I think, hot take, I think college football is better when Auburn is good.
Oh, 100%.
I think any school giving Bama an issue is always a good time. Any school, anyone that's in the SEC that's good and competitive makes college football better. And so I would like Auburn to be good. I don't know if Golish is the guy, so I'm not yet ready to be like, I'm worried about that game. It is at Auburn.
Yeah, I was just pulling up the schedule because you make me think about going to Auburn.
No, you absolutely should. That's an away game that I'm absolutely going to go to. This year is going to be kind of exciting because last year I felt like I really had to hit every SEC school and I missed some good LSU games that I would normally have gone to. But also because of the additional SEC game and the schedule shifting, LSU plays more away games that I can get on board with. So I'll get to see LSU play more this year just strictly because of their away game schedule.
I forgot about the Texas game.
Yeah, Texas.
In Tiger Stadium, though. We get that get back.
In Tiger Stadium. Yeah, I mean, I think Arch Manning's going to have a phenomenal year. So
I have a bad feeling about that. And I don't hate Arch Manning. Like, everybody in Louisiana has a thought about the Mannings or have a feeling about the Mannings. Arch is a kid. I think he has a great talent. I don't mean to say this to sound terrible, but it feels like because he just had the injury, and it feels like it's the same path as Garrett went down this year.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'm not saying that like, yay, as an LSU fan, it's like, oh, I don't want that to happen to that kid. I don't want him to beat us, but I don't want him to have that.
See, I feel the opposite. I think he's gonna have a big year. I think he's gonna have a big year.
I'd love for him to have a big year outside of Baton
towards
Rouge.
the end of the year, he really started coming into his own. I know they did a lot of offseason work on the offensive line, which I think was another reason he didn't look very good, similar to us. He didn't have a lot of time to throw the ball. He had some wide receiver help, but some of his wide receivers were not helping him at all.
And they got that kid from Auburn.
They got the kid from Auburn. I think Texas is going to be good, and I think Arch Manning is set for a year. I think he got to play through the year of the media overhyping him and saying he was winning the Heisman and doing all of that, and now he just gets to go in and be a good football player. And I mean, I expect a really big year from him. Obviously, again, I hope he doesn't beat LSU. But I anticipate him having a pretty good year.
I just keep thinking of things I think
you're fine. It's all good.
Sorsby. And how does the Cincinnati Reds keep getting in trouble with betting? Because you remember the Alabama baseball coach in 23.
Yeah.
And now Sorsby. What's your opinion on Sorsby and that whole mess?
I think Brooks Austin tweeted it best. I think I quote tweeted him about it. I think you're getting to a point now, if you're a college coach and you're about to pay a guy millions and millions of dollars, you should probably do a little bit of digging.
Vetting.
To who this kid is. And I understand that there are time constraints on stuff like that. I understand that you have coaches that are fighting for him. But, like, at the end of the day, if we would have not gotten Sorsby and Lane came out and was like, yeah, we did some vetting, and during our vetting, he decided to go another route, I'm okay with that.
See, I think they did.
Because then, like, you let another school take the liability. Like, let them take, like, especially with the way the portal's changing and the calendar's changing, and now they can't go.
They can't move again. They can still sign a transfer portal quarterback.
Correct. But like anyone worth it is gone.
TJ Finley.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing maybe I've ever tweeted ever. And then someone responded and said Trinidad Chambliss, and I'm like, you aren't getting the joke. You didn't get the joke.
They probably don't listen.
I'm like, but in the back of my mind, I was like, please, Trinidad, go. But no, I think that's gonna have to be part of it. I think Lane even probably at some point did vet Levitt, and whether you're vetting for personal issues or you're vetting for injuries, you need to vet all of those things. Going in and getting 3 quarterbacks in one portal class
setting up your future.
And not just like just any old quarterback. Like quarterbacks that could very well be your starter and could potentially argue with Levitt for being the starter. Like guys that are going to add legitimate competition in your quarterback room.
And wrinkles to your offense.
Yeah, and so going in and getting those kind of guys and getting that many tells me, okay, this was not a short-term goal. This was setting us up for long-term success. And I think Sorsby, at the end of the day, was a short-term success story for Tech, and now they've shot themselves in the foot. The blessing for them is that their conference is atrocious. So you don't need a five-star quarterback, but you need a quarterback. And now the one you have has just started throwing the ball, and it's almost May.
Oh, he can't play till week 3.
So it's like, what are you doing? Are you gonna? They're gonna be LSU in the Texas Bowl when John Trey Kirkland was our quarterback. That's what they're gonna be.
I love John Trey though.
Me too. I love that kid so.
Because
when he was like, if we got 11, we suiting up, we fighting tigers. I was like,
thank you.
I'll go to war for you.
Exactly.
Let me know. I don't know where he is, but I hope he's well.
John Trey was a baseball player too.
I know. I love him so much.
He's royalty.
He's one of those kids that I'm like he'll get like, when I saw that and he was like,
he eats for free in BR.
He's one of those kids that I said this when I worked in recruiting, and I still stand by it. I would take 10 2 stars, 3 stars that love the state of Louisiana and dream their whole life of playing at LSU over 5 stars any day of the week. And I know that that's like controversial. I get that. But every team that you've seen be successful for LSU at some level has had guys that would have done anything to put that jersey on.
They had a French name on the backside.
And and if they weren't from Louisiana, they fully embraced it. Like Joe Burrow coming out in an EAUX, like fully embraced it. But on that same team is why I say that in Jefferson. Like you got a kid that no one thought was good, and now he's one of, if not the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Like
I think Jamar just passed him.
Okay. Wow. What a guy to pass him. You know, it's like, I find it really hard to argue. And people talk all the time about how LSU it recruits itself. And, you know, you have all these guys in your backyard. And I'm like, you do. And
but it didn't with Kelly.
Only wanting to play in purple and gold.
It didn't recruit itself with Kelly, though.
No, but
also, now you got Lane.
I don't think he was a great recruiter.
No. And then you got the one guy I want to talk to. It's not even Lane. And the football staff, Kevin Smith. That's who I want to talk to. When he puts out the video, him singing Set It Off in his car, driving down I-10.
Love it.
I was like, I'll die for you, King.
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah. No, I think you have a coaching staff that's fully embracing the state. You have players that have been and are fully embracing the state, if they aren't from there. I think you're set up for success long term. I don't know. I don't know realistically like what's fair to ask of them in year one. In terms of like, I think you have people right now that are like, we're going to the playoffs, and I'm like, everyone calm down. Like, I'm okay with winning 9 games.
This was my take on it. And it's purely financially. You spent but it's a double-edged sword because you spent so much on this roster, but most of this roster he got, especially in the transfer portal, have multiple years. Like Sam Levitt has 2 years if he wants to. To me, it's playoffs. Like 10% you have to make the playoffs because of the money you spent. But other 90% is I just want to have fun again. I just want to enjoy this season. I want it to be pandemonium. I live 3 minutes from the stadium. I live right here. I want it to be hard for me to get home from work. That's what I want.
Yeah,
Like,
no, agreed. Yeah,
yeah.
I said that. I'm like, I want it to be fun. I don't want to be ridiculed for having high expectations. I don't want to be, yelled at and told I'm spoiled and throwing water bottles in press conferences because you can't deliver the things
Yelling
that
at Michael Cobble.
you're going to deliver. Yeah, that stuff I like can't get on board with. I agree. I just want to have fun again. I want Tiger Stadium to be intimidating again. I want Cookie to do what Knox was doing. I want Cookie on shoulders. I want a fire extinguisher going off. I want the basketball goal. I mean, I want all of the antics and the BS.
It's going to be a problem.
And I'm okay. I am okay not making the playoffs year one, despite the
Yeah.
money. I know that that's a big deal to people, but what you said, like a lot of those guys have multiple years. And if I'm just being really real, we've done the whole like, let's go in an Addy and then fall off thing. I would love to see some sustainable success from our program year in and year out, because being the villain is going to get real old if you're not winning.
Cookie's going to be a problem in high school.
No, Cookie's a problem now. Okay, I'll tell one story and then I'm all talking about it again. But when we went in to see Lane on Saturday, and Cookie looks up, and in Lane's office, there's like 4 shelves, and on the top 2 shelves are like 4 different pairs of shoes. Okay, so Cookie looks up, and there's like a pair of like black and gold like Nike shoes, and Cookie was like, "I didn't know you got those," and Lane was like, "Yeah, like I got them this week or whatever," and Cookie's like, "Well, I want to put them on," and Lane's like, "No," and then Lane like walks like down the side. He's not leaving, but he's like walking down, like there's like bathrooms and closets down there, and so Cookie jumps up, climbs up. I have a picture of it, climbing up on the shelf to grab the shoes. He puts the shoes on. And in fact, the picture that he's in from Saturday, he's wearing the shoes. And then Lane's like, "Cookie, we have to go to walkthrough." And so Cookie starts walking out, and Lane's like, "You can't wear those." And he's like, "Take them off." And Cookie's like, "Why?" He's like fighting with Lane. And I'm sitting here like, who's going to win? Like, who wins this one? And Lane told one of his employees, I'm not going to say who it was, but he told one of his employees, he was like, "Get those shoes." And the employee was like chewing Cookie out. He was like, "You know how hard I work. You know what I deal with." And he was like, I will call your mom right now." That's what he said.
We all know who that employee was now.
No, I don't think you do. It wasn't Chris Kiffin.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Cookie, because I think he would have listened to Chris. Like, I don't think Chris would have had to call the mom. Like, this was another employee. So he takes the shoes off and walks out barefoot, leaves his shoes in Lane's office. And I was like, "Cookie, do you want to put your shoes back on?" He's like, "No, I'll get them later." And he just walks out, gets on a golf cart, and rides on over to Tiger Stadium to watch the walkthrough. I was like, a kid is running our football program right now, and I'm not even mad about it.
Picture that kid walking through the halls of call it U High with the prom queen, all the pretty girls, and he goes, "I've been hanging out with LSU gymnasts since I was 10.
Literally. Like, someone's like, "Have y'all ever heard of Libby Dunn?" And Cookie's like, "Heard of her."
Heard of her. I'll call her.
Yeah, I have her number.
Yeah.
Snapchat.
She's old news. She graduated in
By the time
20.
she's in high school, she will be old news.
All right. So last question. I'm gonna get you out. I'll catch you here. Can't thank you enough for the time you spent with me. It's been fun. So this is gonna lead to that question. What's your favorite moment in Tiger Stadium?
My freshman year, Alabama came to play LSU, and we all got in the stadium really super early, obviously, because everyone wanted like a really good seat. And this is like kind of a double-edged thing, but I always say my biggest accomplishment is sneaking someone into Tiger Stadium during the LSU Alabama game, because we snuck my friend in that game. But it was dead silent because the rest of the gates hadn't opened yet. At that point in time, I don't even know if they still do it, but at that point in time, they opened the student section first. So we would be in there and the whole stadium was empty. So it was just like the student section and an empty stadium. And Nick walked out of the opposing hallway. And I'm not going to repeat the chants that we said because they're not appropriate to say while you're wearing a Jesus One sweatshirt.
Yeah, please.
But F.U. Saban was so loud in a nearly empty stadium outside of the student section. Like, he turned around and walked back into the hallway and then like walked back out with like the players and stuff. I'll never forget it for as long as I live. And I love Nick Saban. I have a lot of respect for Nick Saban.
Oh yeah, he's like, the GOAT.
Incredible.
Yeah. He was here first. Thank you.
That team is coming off losing the Natty to Nick Saban. Everyone's mad. Yeah, that was probably my favorite moment. No, a close second is being in the stadium when Joe Burrow ran out in his jersey that was spelled correctly.
Okay, so what's your favorite win moment in Tiger Stadium?
Oh gosh, win moment.
Like game experience.
My junior year of college, this is kind of embarrassing, but I am gonna roll with it anyway. We weren't very good. But we beat Ole Miss and they rushed the field. We rushed the field and I think were ranked at the time.
Yeah.
And we just weren't having a good year. And we were coming off if anyone remembers, like the few years after losing that 2011 Natty were just like brutal.
Yeah.
And so we rushed the field and it's why I am so not anti-field rushing. Like some people are so against it. And
are they bald? You talking about?
Maybe. I don't know.
There's one person I have a deep rivalry with. He doesn't know it. I bet he knows it now. But he's in Baton Rouge and he's bald. ESPN.
No. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, not him. I'm saying like in general. Like you see a lot of just like conversations about whether field rushing is a good thing or not for safety reasons. And I understand everyone talking about the safety reasons, but I remember
it's college.
We rushed the field and we were towards the front because this is when I worked in recruiting. So we were like right there. And the recruits' faces when they got to do that was a moment that I will literally never forget. And then we went to work the next day and the amount of commitments we got like from the field rush. And I was just like, why wouldn't we field rush every game? Like, this is incredible. And so I'm always like thinking about it. Like, it was so fun for me because I got to do it. And then also to see the recruiting repercussions of that was a really big deal. And I think that is one reason that I'm always so pro field rushing. Idiots are going to idiot. Like, no matter where you are or what you're doing, idiots are going to idiot. But, yeah, I mean, I wish more than anything that I had been in the stadium when we threw the ball to Kyron Lacey and won in overtime. Like, I talked about that game today with someone
or the Mason Taylor pylon.
Like there are so many moments I wish I was in there for, but I went during a not great era of college football, so I'll have to take what I can get.
So here's the question, because you were there for the Tennessee walk-off with Bear.
Yes.
What would you take over? A big win moment in Outbox or Tiger Stadium? Because they're great. Like,
fair.
Huh?
That's so not fair.
Because people don't believe me. Like when I talk to friends that had the military or like people not from Louisiana, they're like, "Oh, Outbox can't be that great. It can't be comparable to Tiger Stadium." I'm like, "Oh no,
yeah,
10,000 people sound like 100,000 when they want to."
Yeah, I would say
it wasn't even 10,000. Probably what 5,000.
There was, yeah. I mean, I remember being like, I was so tired, and I remember I had dropped off my car with a friend, and so I had to like wait. Like, I was not leaving the game early, basically, and I kept yawning. He was like, "We're not leaving," and I was like, "I don't want to leave. I'm just yawning because it's 1:17 a.m. and I live in the East Coast, so I think it's 2:17 a.m. My body is shutting down here." Oh man, that's so hard.
Because it's hard for me to pick too. Like,
I have to say football. I think I have to, because that is like, that's what I fell in love with. Like, I fell in love with Tiger Stadium. I fell in love with LSU football. And because I fell in love with those things, I eventually fell in love with LSU baseball. But like,
okay,
that is my first love. So I don't know if anything will ever like equate to that same emotion. Obviously, like winning Omaha last year and being there for that was,
yeah, it's cool, but it doesn't touch Alex Box.
But it doesn't touch Alex Box.
No.
But I will say, like, Alex Box at 1:17 a.m.
with 5,000 people. I mean,
I'll never forget that for as long as I live.
I remember I was We had just moved to this house actually, and I live, like I said, it takes me 3 minutes. It takes me the same amount of time it takes Skip Burtman to get to the stadium. Let's just say that. I'm sitting in my bed and I'm watching the game, but I hear the
You
stadium.
hear it?
I'm like, oh no. And I watch and just ding. All right. I've kept you far too long. I
Oh.
apologize. But this has been an absolute blast.
Well, thank
I
you.
cannot thank you enough for this. Like Alex said, you got to come back.
Thank
I'm
you.
have to
Alex.
get you back. Everybody, make sure you check out SEC Pretty. Go get you a hat.
Really don't have to. I'm just a bandwagoner. I'm not a real fan.
But you're an influencer, and we got to get these people wearing the hats.
Influencer, I mean, I don't know what I am these days.
Celebrity yelling at 7-year-olds. By the way, if you can watch this episode and think that this woman would cuss out a 7-year-old child,
Yeah.
you have mom and dad issues. Like, it's not even worth it. Like, yes, she will flame you on X. I've seen Joy on that tequila.
Yeah.
Light
I'll
it
do
up.
it sober.
And,
I'll flame
and that's
you
my
sober. Let's be honest.
tequila Joy, my favorite Joy. So this is my favorite Joy, but tequila Joy on X, get it. But make sure you go on SEC Pretty, buy a hat, support those who support us, like I always say. Enjoy. Thank you again for as kind as you've been to me. I don't even deserve it. I appreciate
Well,
it.
that is so not true. You're doing a great job. You're absolutely killing it. And I was thrilled to be here. So thank you for having me.
No problem. Everybody have a good night. To pick to click tomorrow if we have a game. If not, we have 2 Saturday. Peace. Go Tigers.